Cause I'm back again. I'm reloaded.
Fool.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Storytime with T. You're in the library where the books are kept and inside of the stories. My stories, Storytime with T. And as always, man, if you're going through something in life and they got you twisted, or you want to get a little twisted, get twisted with Twisted Teas, sweet tea whiskey. As always, man, it's tradition for Storytime with T that I take a sip before I get into today's story. That's good. That's good right there. Twisted tea, sweet tea whiskey. Get you some. Today's story. Like a pimp? Yes, sir. So I'm down in Mississippi, and we had got a new guy on our ship, man. He was from California. Pretty cool dude, man. Pretty cool dude. And one day we working, and he say, "Hey, Twin, man, Swin, you eating on the ship for lunch today, or you going out on base?" I said, "Man, I was gonna eat on the ship." He said, "Man, if you want to, man, we can go to McDonald's. I got you, man. It's on me." I say, "That's cool, man. All right, cool." So, man, finished the work up, man. Lunchtime coming around. I met him at one of our spaces. We walked off the ship, man, walked up to the base McDonald's. We at the McDonald's, we chopping it up a little bit. We decided to get our orders, man. We put our orders in at the window at the McDonald's. When it come time to pay, man, he pulled out a roll of money this big with a rubber band around it. I'm looking at the knot, I'm like, shit, man, he way lower ranked than me. They ain't paying that kind of money in the military. Where'd that come from? You know? I'm like, man, where'd you get that from? He just laughed. Man, threw a couple 20s out there, got his change, put it on the money, put the rubber band back on and put it in his pocket. So we go sit down outside. He said, "Man, that's what I want to talk to you about." He said, "You cool, I could talk to you." He said, "I could trust you." I said, "What's up?" He said, "Hey, man, you know those clubs on the strip?" He named like 3 clubs. There was these major clubs on Highway 90, man, on the strip out there in Biloxi. And it was one guy that owned all these clubs that everybody went to out there on the strip. He said, "Hey, man, I work for the club owner." He said, "I sell drugs in each one of them clubs for the owner of the club. Ecstasy, cocaine, whatever." He said, "But that's not it." He said, "Man, the club owner also got these girls." And he was like, "Sometimes I drop him off. When he ain't got nobody, I pick him up and I drop him off. And he looking for another person to help. Do you want to make $500 a night?" I was like, "Man, that's way more than what we make in the military." Say, $500 a night? He was like, "Yeah, $500 a night. Because if you take my base pay at the time, man, I was an E5. But if you take my base pay at the time and you broke it down and divided it amongst the days in a month, I was only getting paid like 80-something bucks a day." So I'm like, hell yeah. $500 a day, a night? I'm like, cool. But I told him, I said, "Man, I got to run it by my old lady." I said, "Let me check back with you." "All right, cool, man. Just tell me what's up." So, man, we go back to the boat. We go work. And at the end of the day, man, he's like, "Hey, man, just hit me back in the morning with your answer." Hey, cool. I go home, man. Play with my kids, eat dinner, take my shower, chilling. I'm in the bed, we watching TV, me and the old lady at the time. I say, "Hey, I've been offered a position paying $500 a night. I'm thinking about taking it." So she say, "What is it?" I say, "Well, man, it'd be working for the owner of the clubs out there in Biloxi. They say they got these ladies, man, they need me to pick them up and drop them off. Sometimes things get bad, go inside and go get them. But it's paying $500 a night." And she goes, "Oh, hell nah. You ain't finna be no pimp. No. You ain't finna be no pimp." I say, "Man, it ain't no pimp, man. I'm just a driver. I'm chauffeuring. That's it. She's like, hell nah, you ain't finna be no pimp. And so, and then she say, you'll probably be to knock one of them down or something like that. Oh, hell nah. And I was like, nah, it ain't nothing like that. It ain't nothing like that, man. Hey, $500. She said, tell them now. I said, you sure? And she was like, nah. I said, all right. So I go, man, the next day I go back to work. I see him at Must in the morning. We meet up in the morning at 6:30. And so I say, I see him later. I speak to him. I say, hey, bro, it's a no-go, man. The wife was, she tripping. She ain't down with it. She don't want me to do it. So I ain't gonna be able to do it, man. He's like, all right, man, it's cool. I understand, man. It's cool, man. Hey, man, but if you change your mind, holler at me. I said, all right, cool. Later on, that young man had got into some trouble. He had popped for some drugs in the military. And what was crazy about that too, they took him and they held him. They restricted him to the boat, to the base. He couldn't go anywhere. He had popped for cocaine. Now, I think they said what it takes like 3 days for cocaine to get out your system or something like that. With the little test they was doing. But he had been locked down on the base for weeks. And they piss tested him again. And he was still popping positive for cocaine. While on the boat, him and another little dude. And the reason for that was because the other little guy, when you lock down on the base, you can have visitors on Sundays. The other little dude, his wife would come, and he did chewing tobacco. So she would bring him a case of chewing tobacco, and she would give it to somebody so they can give it to him. And thinking nothing of it, they just think it was a homeless can of chewing tobacco, but up under the tobacco was cocaine. So that's how the cocaine was getting on the boat, and him and the other dude was getting high on cocaine while they locked down on the base. And so the dude got processed out, man. He went home. Other than that, man, he was a cool dude. Cool dude. Now, the second time, I was kind of propositioned to be something like a pimp, you know? So I'm down in South Texas this time. I'm hanging out with my buddy, man, Luis. Man, this night, man, my boy was like, hey, bro, keep your money, man. I got it tonight. I got you, bro. Don't worry about a thing. I got us. So, man, we go out. We go to a couple bars. And then we wind up at the strip club later that night. And I'm sitting over there chilling. My boy getting a lap dance. This lady comes. This other female comes over. Pretty chocolate female. And real nice shape on her. And so my buddy getting a lap dance from her. I'm sitting just chilling. And then while she dancing on him, she talking to me too. Asked me what my name is and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'll tell her who I am. She's like, you pretty cute. We should hang out sometime. We catch a movie or something. I was like, all right, cool. She was like, we can catch what you doing tomorrow? I was like, nothing. I said, you want to check out a movie tomorrow? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. When she finished her dance, she came and chilled with us, man, have a couple drinks with us. She gave me a number. I was like, all right. So, man, me and my buddy leave. The next day, I get off of work. I give her a call. I was like, you still going to the movies tonight? She's like, you serious? I said, yeah. You asked me. I told you yeah yesterday. I wasn't making that up. And she was like, well, let me get ready. Let me get dressed and ready. I say, what? I say, we go to this movie theater over here. Shoot me an address. I come scoop you up. Boom. She shoot me an address. I come pick her up. I picked her up in my truck. We went to the movies. We enjoyed the movie. It was a good, funny movie. We laughed our butts off. Then we grabbed something to eat. We had a good time, had some good conversation. When the meal was over, man, she jumped in the truck. And I proceeded to take her home. Parked the truck. Got out, I walked her to her door, made sure she got home safe. To her door, gave her a hug, went on about my business and left. I get back to base because I was living on base at the time. I get back to base, she called me up. And she was like, I enjoyed myself. She's like, I like you. I like you. Because you act like you don't want to have sex with me. I was just trying to keep my word. You know what I'm saying? You asked me a question, I told you, yeah. You know, take it to the movies. That's it. So after that, man, I guess it drove her crazy, man, to have somebody not chasing her. Trying to figure me out. So she kept contacting me. And then I started hanging out with her. You know? I come to the strip club, man, and she be like, don't worry about nothing. I got you on the drinks. When they come over to you, just tell them it's on me. I'm like, all right, cool. And then we started hanging out. And then she had asked, her car broke down. It was in the shop, and she had asked me, could I pick her up and drop her off at the club? I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And so, man, I knew what time she got off and when she was going in. And then I show up at the strip club, I be chilling. And by the time I know all the dancers by the first name basis. Everybody walk around butt naked. It's like they got clothes on because I done seen them so many times. They, hey, Tony, hey. I'm sitting there chilling, drinking my cup of beers. You know, got my feet kicked up, waiting for her. She get all her money, get out her ones or whatever. And then she'll come and, man, she'll give it to me and tell me to hold on to it. She's like, I'm bad with money. Just hold on to it. I'm like, man, you need a bank account. You need to put this in the bank or something, man. Hey, you gotta. I say, it don't bother you just be counting all these ones and stuff at the counter when you go pay for stuff, man. So I'm hanging out with her. It's another lady at the strip club. They become cool. She starts kicking it and staying over at the girl place. So in the evening, man, I swing by, I'm hanging with them. Shoot, they cooking me dinner. They fighting over who gonna cook me dinner or who gonna make me breakfast. I'm like, cool, man. I got two bad chicks arguing over me. We would go out. They would get dressed up. They ride with me. So I got one on each arm. I'm feeling like a player. You know, I walk up in the club with two of the finest women in the club, and they on my arm. I'm chilling at the bar. My buddies come in. My buddies from the base see me. Dang, twin, man, what's going on, man? I see you, man. I see you, boy. And then the chicks, man, they would go talk to other dudes, get the guys to buy them a drink, and then bring it over to me. Right in front of the guy. I'm thinking, I take time to take a sip. Yeah, I take the drink, look at him. Thank you, bro. You know? And dude shake his head in disappointment and defeat and walk off. You know? So old girl, man, she came, she had a wild background. Story was, she told me that she had a pimp in San Antonio, Texas. And she was on the run. The reason why she was down there in South Texas where we was at, because she was on the run from him. He had tried to leave her for dead. She said he threw her out of a moving car. And she survived. And she ran down there and she was hiding. I said, wow. So I was wondering, she said she was a working girl up there in San Antonio, and she was a dancer up there too. And I was wondering how pretty she was, why she wasn't at the big strip club in Corpus Christi. She was at one of the smaller ones because she didn't want to be seen. Corpus Christi ain't that far from San Antonio. But she worked at one of the smaller ones, kind of like a hole in the wall strip club. You know, she had two clubs she worked at. And I was like, okay. She told me that. I was like, wow, man, you got a wild story. And she had also married. When she came down by the base, the dude came to the club. He met her. They only knew each other for a week. They got married. And then he went over to the Middle East. He went to Bahrain. Went over there. You know somebody for a week and then you marry him and you leave. You don't know nothing about that person. So she used to talk to him all kind of crazy ways on the phone. And when I was hanging around, I didn't feel bad because I felt like they only knew each other for a week. But anyway, so her and her friend, she talking about, she said, hey, I got this plan. She was like, I want you to gather some of your buddies from the base. We either can get a hotel room or I could just do it in my apartment. She said, you tell all your friends. She said, have them come over and me and my girl will bust it wide open for them. And they want to do a little something strange for some change. We can get that going. And you take all the money. And I say, huh? I say, huh? What? I say, so you want the guys to come over here so you can dance for them, and if they want to run through you, they can. And then all of a sudden, man, it felt like somebody snatched me out of my body. It felt like somebody snatched me out of my body, and I was like taken somewhere. And then all I did was think about my daughters. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I would hate for my daughters to be like this. And then I came to, and I was like, nah, nah, I can't do that. Nah, I can't do that. Nah, I'm good. Y'all gotta do it on your own and get somebody else to take the money and do all the other stuff. I say, but nah, I ain't rocking with it. She was like, okay, all right, cool. But this lady, man, this young lady at the time, she came from a troubled background. You know, we had some crazy times together. She tried to hit me with a car because I was hanging with her one time. I messed up. Jeez, I'll tell you this one. I messed up. Like, I always like to take my own vehicle places. I don't like to go nowhere without my own car. So when it's time for me to leave, I could just leave. You know what I'm saying? So this time she was like, hey, you off this weekend? Come kick it with me. I say, yeah, all right. So she picked me up. I left my vehicle on base. She picked me up, and I went and spent the weekend with her. When it was time for me to go to work, I said, hey, I got to go to work. I got to be at work this day. Take me back to the base. When we started getting close to the base, and it got time for me to get out the car, she sped up and took off. I had the door open, about to put my foot on the ground. I said, hey, I picked my foot up. Hey, what you doing? You got like you too happy to get out. Like you want to get away from me. I said, man, I got to go to work. I got to work. So she on the road. Huh? You don't want to hang around me? I say, I got to work. Ain't nobody lying. You tripping. Man, turn this car around and take me back to the base. I got to start working in about 30 minutes. I got to change my clothes and everything. So again, man, I get to get out the car. She sped off again. I say, man, this girl crazy. So at some point during the day, I got out the car, but at that time we wasn't close to the base. And then she goes, she's like, why you want to leave? Huh? You don't want to be around me? I freaking love you. I love you. I was like, hey, you need to chill. And then I got the car and started walking. I was like, I got to find me a ride back to base. They call me a cab or something, man. So I cut through a field. This girl drove up on hit the sidewalk, drove up on the grass, came on the field, and flew up on me, man. I had to dodge the car. She slammed on brakes. The car slid. Almost hit me. I had to jump out the way. She said, I love you. I freaking love you. I'm beating on her. I said, man, you already got somebody. And then I did call a cab, but she kept blocking the cab driver. So he was like, hey, bro, I got to go make some money. So she's like, I'll take you to base. And that's when I wound up getting in the car. I was like, man, just give me back to base. I ain't never jumping in the car with this girl ever again. But yeah, man, her background was real crazy. She had a chaotic upbringing. She said she used to be on cocaine really bad. She did have a child, but that child was taken and was in custody of one of her family members. And the messed up thing with that was that she told me she had been sexually assaulted when she was younger by an uncle. And the sad thing about it was that her child was in the house where they were staying at, and that uncle stayed in the same house. So, yeah, she couldn't. That would be on her mind a lot. So, man. She was cool. She had a crazy upbringing. Made some choices that had some bad things happen in her life. Not saying that was one of her choices, but I hope everything is better now for her. I hope she was reunited with her child, and I hope her life has changed. And that was story time with T, man. Like a pimp. I've had opportunities, but something always got in the way of. I got a conscience. It's like, man, this ain't right. Because I would hate for somebody to have my daughters doing that, my sister doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't bring myself to do anything like that. But that's story time with T, man. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a comment, share, subscribe, like. Story time with T. It's your guy T Swin. Stay twisted, my friends. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday for another episode of Story Time with T. Peace. Hey, it's me again, your guy T Swin with Story Time with T. You can listen to Story Time with T on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. Support the show. Listen on the go anywhere while you work out at the job. It's your guy T Swin, Story Time with T. Check it out, y'all. Support.